Welcome to Advocacy in Motion. I'm your host, Tommy Finn, and we're here every week to give a vision and a voice to nonprofit organizations and individuals making a difference in our communities. And before I introduce my guest today, I want to say thank you to our presenting sponsor, Niagara Conservation. Niagara has allowed us to visit with so many nonprofit organizations, and we know they will continue to do so in the future. We want to tell you about their new products that are cost-saving, money-saving, water-saving products. And here's my partner, Theresa, the publisher of Youth Sports Today, to tell you all about them.
Thanks, Tommy, and thanks, Niagara, for your continuing support of nonprofit organizations. If you want to get the ultimate experience in cleanliness and comfort without breaking the bank and transform your bathrooms, Niagara. From toilets to bidets, Niagara has the perfect solution for any bathroom project. Niagara's award-winning products not only outperform competitors, but they also outdesign them. Thanks to innovations like stealth technology, Niagara's products can use half as much water as the competitors, providing you with a solution that will help the environment and save you money. Shop now on Amazon or HomeDepot.com.
My guest today is Theresa Tumminia. Did I get that right? Good.
Perfect.
She is the Director of Outreach and Programming for a very unique organization. I really love this group. 4 Down. It's a service-driven community with unique, multifaceted facilities and programs. You combine skate park, art, music, and food into one great community service. Tell us about 4 Down.
Oh, absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you so much. So 4 Down, yeah, very exciting. It is 50,000 square feet of skate park. It's indoor and outdoor. It's recreational, free to the public. So we have the only 15-foot vert ramp in Dallas. And that's pretty unique in itself because Mike Crum built that from the ground up. So he is a professional skater. Just skated with Tony Hawk recently, last June, and then again, just even more recent than that. And he and Rob Cahill, who is also a professional skater, different kind of skating. He does what's known as street skating, and Mike is vert ramp skating. So Mike flies in the air, and Rob flies closer to the ground. But both of those two, the gentlemen came together about 8 years ago, and opened up the skate park with the idea that they were going to, serve the skate community and have them come in, and just saw that there was a greater need and looked outward and thought, what could they do as skaters to accomplish, a bigger impact on things. That led to some environmental, social justice things that happened. Of course, we all learned and did a lot through the pandemic, and that brought us to where we are today, which is, Theresa knocking on the gates one day and saying, hey, what's this all about?
So starting from a skate park, and I know there's more there than just a skate park. I know it's a safe place after school, other activities, some things you do there. Tell us about that before we talk a little bit more about the rest of the project.
Sure. So the safe spot, so skate culture has come a long way, and there's been some significant changes recently, meaning there are women in, skateboards, and the safe space came from the idea of making sure that we're all about good, healthy choices. And choices are one of our biggest, that's a big component with us. We want you to choose to do the things that you want to do. We don't want to tell anybody what to do. We just, we want to give you the choices. But when you're at 4 Down, it is a healthy place. So our partners such as Phoenix and Whole Foods and people like that are because we choose to do things in a safe, no weapons environment, no smoking, there's no drugs and alcohol. All of it is a space that you can come and we're in a food desert, we're in a recreational desert, we're in a desert where we are, right at the 75226. We're in downtown Dallas, so getting to us, you're going to pass by. It's not going to be pretty when you're passing to get through our gates, but once you come through those gates, you're going to, we have Byron's fridge where it's right on the stage, and anyone can go into that fridge with no questions asked, and there are healthy snacks and food and some sweet treats in there too.
All right. Now you combine that with art, music, and food. How did that come about?
Oof, next to food rescue, this is my second favorite part to talk about. So I get excited about that part. It started out because the cold storage itself, which is my domain, that's where I come into as Director of Outreach and Engagement. I get to go out and tell people about the cold storage. But on the cold storage, the Eagle Scouts actually came in, and it's a 40-foot container. And it's 10 by 40, so there's 10 feet of chalkboarding space to enter into the cold storage. That has served as this beautiful, welcoming mural, and so we've had these great artists, whether they be underrepresented or just up and coming, artists that come. For example, the last artist we had was Dora Brought Plenty. She's from the Indian tribe. She's a 199th survivor of the boarding school children of the Indian Nation. And this beautiful mural that she put up, and again, they do this all in chalk. And so that's an example. We have an entire art room that's dedicated to installations and anyone who wants to do an exhibit, but it's a huge part of what we do.
That's amazing. I know there was a documentary done recently. Can you tell us about that? That's pretty heartwarming from what I've seen.
The documentary, definitely close to my heart because there was so much going on while that documentary was being made. And, it's one of those things kind of like high school or like your children, you look back on it and you think, oh my goodness, remember us then, and so it's very nostalgic for me. And, but the documentary is focused on Rob Cahill and his journey and how the skateboard kind of came to be, where he and Rob Mike both hailed from. And then it lets it kind of gives you this introduction to Zion is part of the Tatiana's project. And his auntie was killed while he was there. And it was on a no-knock warrant where she thought, let me look outside my window and see what's going on. And it was the police, and she was shot. So Zion is a big part of that because he's been part of the Four Down family for a long, long time. But of course, with all of this swirling around this young boy, he's 12 now, he just, this became kind of his foundation and home. And so that is a big part of what you see skate culture intersecting into that social impact part and what it is that they do on that. And it is the beginning of the food rescue story and how it came to be. So.
Well, you mentioned the food rescue story and food distribution, which is that is you.
That's my baby.
So
yeah.
Tell us how that works.
So food rescue. Okay, so food rescue works that so Sunday morning you would come in, 9 o'clock in the a.m. we set up. The the rescue part happens all week. So in other words, in my car right now, there are 215 cases of to-go salads. And, and we get this amazing food. So it started out with the thought that I didn't want those 215 cases to go to the landfill. I don't want those to go to the garbage because there's nothing wrong with them. They're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. And so we put that together. We said, all right, give me one store at Whole Foods, and now we have 6. And we said, give me one farmer, whether you have one tomato or if you have a ton, literally, bring it to us, because that 40-foot cold storage is how we're able to maintain that and keep this program going, is the fact that we have the food come in through the cold storage, and then we can store it. And that's an issue for all of agriculture right now. One is finding those who want to do the work of agriculture, of farming, and become farmers. And the next one is the storing process. So we're able to do that. And then on Sunday, everyone knows that food will go out into the community. So it used to be called Sunday service. And it was me, and I'm pretty sure I kidnapped one of my other girlfriends, told her I was going to brunch. We did not go to brunch. And we started to do this work, and now it's grown, and we do it Sundays, Monday, Tuesday, and both Sunday and Wednesday we have distributions, and that goes out. We're up to about 300 and plus families every week. We have over 60 different organizations that we collaborate with, that we either deliver to or get food from. And yeah, it's becoming full circle, and it's growing to the point where we're ready to see if we can make this. We already know that we want it to be duplicated. So this is going to be something, we're already doing it in Fort Worth, and we want to see if we can do it in Denton, and we want to see if we can do it in Richardson. So that's.
And this is all fresh food, right?
Oh my goodness! So it is all fresh food in the sense that nothing is past prime, is what we call it. Right. So yes, we get the fresh produce. We get straight from the farmers. We get whatever overage that they have, and then we also get fresh food from the Whole Foods community. But we have what's called a to-go food section, and those are those prepackaged but it will be. I mean, it will be quinoa. You know, it'll be spinach quiches, it'll be fresh Parmesan, it'll be marinated olives. So it's this food that the community that we're serving it to don't ever get exposed to, much less are able to go and buy. They don't have these stores. We're literally in a food desert, meaning that there are no grocery stores within accessible range of them getting to. And then being able to purchase this type of food. So I'm able to expose them to this healthy food that gets them asking questions of how do I cook it? What do I do with it? And then we go from there. Just me being able to be invited to your dinner table so that I can see what other resources are needed and then direct you towards that, that's an honor for me.
We'll come back to this many times, but tell us how people can get in touch with you, how they can help, how they can become part of the program.
Absolutely. So the 4 Down, and it's the number 4 and then DWN.org. 4down.org is the website, and you can go on there to volunteer. Those messages come directly to Mike, directly to me, directly to Rob, so we do see those. And that is definitely a way to come. You can always show up on Sundays at 4 Down, downtown on 2633 Ferris Street. But you can show up on Sundays at 9 o'clock, and we're quick, and jump right in. We go all the way till noon. There's always skating, weather permitting. There's, anytime I tell you, everybody says, well, will there be skating? There's always, if the doors are open, we can skate. So, yeah.
Well, you've got a lot going on. Tell us a little bit about your structure and your staff and volunteers. How did all this come together? How does this work?
Okay. So the newer part of this was that it was always built so that it could be a workforce solution. It was always built that there would be jobs created out of this. And so for the food rescue, how it works is there's myself, and then I have 4 captains underneath me. They each take a component of this. So there's transportation, that's how the food gets to 4 Down, and then how it's distributed out to the families. And that is a whole section in itself. Very proud of that. We now work with, Phoenix Mobility, and we have an app so that you can just go right onto the app as a volunteer, choose your route. It's smart routed out. And so, that took some doing, and that was quite a thing for us to be able to do. But we did it, and it was great. And then, so that I'm very proud of. So we do deliver, but it's just very specific. There's a criteria for that. Otherwise, as a family, if you need us, come on Sundays at 10:30 and line up, and no questions asked. We just ask how many are in your family, and we put it in your truck.
That is so nice.
So the captains underneath have that. We have administration who takes care of all of the back end work of making sure that we control data and things like that. And then our volunteer coordinator and communications officer who goes out and talks to the organizations that we either receive from or give out to. And then all of that, all of those captains underneath them have interns. And then again, these are all things that I used to do by myself, but thankfully now I've gotten these captains. They are amazing. They are amazing. And then every first Sunday of the month, we do a larger celebration. And so that's my favorite part. So I'm very hands-on about the first celebration, first Sunday.
Okay, very good. Let me take another break here and mention
Okay.
one of our other sponsors, and we'll come back and we'll talk about more ways people can help and get involved in some things you're doing going forward.
Okay.
But I want to thank Piranha Haven, Energy, Wellness, and Gifts for the Soul. This is a wonderful spiritual gift shop in downtown Richardson. And this holiday season, it might be a good place to stop in and look for those gifts that really will be remembered. Piranha Haven, you'll find an eclectic collection of local and imported items from free trade villages. You'll find jewelry, art from local artists, and a wide assortment of crystals, incense, and sage. So it's a great gift shop. And you can also give yourself the gift of wellness. Energy Wellness improves stress and anxiety, reduces physical pain, and improves the quality of sleep. So check out Piranha Haven, P-R-A-N-A, haven.com to book your energy healing sessions and see all the wonderful gift items. So thank you, Piranha Haven, for all your support. All right, now, tell us some of the challenges you guys have faced in getting to where you are now. I know it's been a growth period.
It's been a growth period. Oh my goodness, has it been a growth? We are growing like crazy, and anytime that happens, that's a challenge, right? I mean, so we have a hybrid format right now where we have for-profits that are on. So we have Dive Coastal, which is a restaurant. We have Turn Compost. We have the Skate Point Shop, Point Skate Shop. And all of these things are swirling around this nonprofit part, this social impact part. And so it is a challenge. It's a challenge to be able to protect that part. It's a if you look at it as a good thing, if you look at it as that kind of challenge where you wake up and you go, okay, I'm ready for this. I want to do this. It's not easy. It's a muscle that needs to be exercised. I'm sore. I'm over it. But you still want to get in and do that every day, but it is a challenge. It's that thing where you have this benefit around you and you want to take hold of it. Meaning that I have these for-profits that are swimming around, and you want to be able to say, hey, I want to knock on the door and say, can I borrow a cup of sugar? Can I, you know what I mean? But as a nonprofit, you are the only one that, you don't bring in revenue that way. So you have to always be conscious of the fact that you can't keep going to your neighbors and asking them for a cup of sugar. Because after a while, you got to learn how to buy your own. And we've done that from the beginning. We've been self-sufficient, and we, Four Down has been self-sufficient about these things. But you do have to be very creative about that, and you have to be, consistent, and you have these captains, and you have the structure, and you have all these things that you want to keep accomplishing. But then you realize that when someone says, hey, come and volunteer on a Sunday, that's one thing. But if someone knocks, comes to you and they're calling you every day and saying, hey, do you have something, then that's a job. That's a job. That's not. So the challenges are things that we are welcoming and we're ready for. But as we're learning and growing, we do see that this is real life now. It's, and it's that thing of careful what you ask for. This is what I said in the beginning when I came in to Four Down, was that I wanted it to be sustainable. I wanted it to be something that was on the level of not just being taken seriously, but created the kind of impact that meant something. And in order to do that, you do have to accept the challenge. Accept the challenge of growing from just an event that's really cool and looking sexy on the outside to this is where the work comes in.
And you mentioned nonprofit. Now, every nonprofit has to find a way to balance between the mission and raising funds. It just has to work that way.
Yeah.
How do you find that balance, and how can people help in helping you raise funds and getting you what you need going forward?
One of my favorite questions and least favorite questions.
I know, but it's necessity.
No, it absolutely is. And I proudly, with the same pride that I would have in telling you that we feed 300 families a week, that's the same pride that I lay out, that we need help in being able to do that. no one wants to see me do that by myself, you know, and I wouldn't want to see any one person do that by themselves. Every single person out there who helps, either because they show up on Sunday or because they give $1, you know. So it's for the bags that we give, the bags equal for a family of 2. Those bags are about, you know, $250 they come to for that whole thing. But we charge, what we would ask is that if you donated $5, you knew that you were feeding that family of 2 for that, okay? Again, the quality of food, you know, but giving that money or giving that time, if you want to come down and volunteer, I have volunteer opportunities. You can't, you know, whether it's back of the house things as far as administration or direct impact and helping to bag up that food. But if it's just the fact that you don't have time to do that and you can write a check, thank you. Please do that. Go to the 4down.org site and make sure you put in there, this is for food rescue, and, you know, give. Absolutely.
You mentioned Fort Worth, Denton, whatever.
Yeah.
Those are your goals. What is the future for Down? Where would you like to see it go? How far?
So we have this growth, as I said, and the community corner of 4Down, because it does have all this spectacular, shiny objects. We've got, you know, we've got skater boys flying in the air. We've got all this great, right? So the community corner, I would love to see that be completely developed and finished. I would love to see that the cold storage, which, you know, is struggling right now, needs an upgrade, is just, it's funded, and that all of the programming that runs through there has enough volunteers and resources that it just happens. We have students from 4 to 11, and then students in the middle school and students in high school that come and learn about these things. We help everybody from domestic violence victims, you know. So I would love to see that in 2 years, we are sitting here talking with you, and I'm telling you about our victories and our celebration of our, you know, families that have graduated from those who came there because they needed help, all the way to, you know, now they're business owners and they're part of our for-profit, nonprofit hybrid program. So.
Well, that's exactly what we want to. We want to see you grow and see if we can help in some way. We've had a lot of questions. Tell me what I've missed. This is your story. Tell me what you want our audience to know that we might not have talked about that you really feel is important for them to know.
Okay, I think one of the important things is that diversity that we talk about, it is there. When we say all are welcome, that is the truth. We've had, you know, the Dallas Police Department, we have a no weapons rule, but we do have, you know, the Dallas Police Department all the way to, you know, social justice people on many levels, Tatiana's project being one of them, who are an intricate part of like what we do. So when we say that it's a safe space, we're not just talking about, you know, guns and violence. We're talking about coming. So many people call 4Down a healing space. And I know that for me personally, you know, I lost my son on November 5th. And I can tell you that, you know, I got here in 2018, you know, a year after he passed, and I, without trying, have not been alone on November 5th, because every time we have this amazing event, you know, we have something, and all I have to do is just show up. All I have to do
That's
is just be. So I want people to know that about 4Down. That
is terrific, and we certainly hope that people will listen and help and show up on Sunday and get involved and help you fulfill those goals.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to thank you so much for being here, and I want to thank our sponsors, Piranha Haven, Energy, Wellness, and Gifts for the Soul. So this holiday season, keep them in mind. And to Niagara Conservation for all the help they do with affordable housing. They provide cost-saving plumbing products to the Volunteers of America Oaks Project in the Oak Cliff District, saving them a lot of money on water cost. So thank you to Niagara and to Piranha Haven. And thank you again for joining us and letting us tell your story.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.